Hi, really glad you've joined me today. So, I'd like to begin with something that might feel quite personal, if that's okay with you. Have you ever answered a question, how are you, without giving a real answer? Most of us have. Sometimes because we're in a hurry. Yeah. Sometimes the moment just doesn't feel right. And sometimes because saying what's really going on feels much harder than keeping it to ourselves. So today, simply like us to spend a few minutes just thinking about honesty. Not honesty as a rule, not honesty as something we're expected to do, just some of the things that can make honesty feel a lot easier. It's interesting how honesty often gets spoken about as though it's one decision. Tell the truth, don't tell the truth. But life rarely feels that simple. There are moments when we're completely honest with one person, yet struggle to be honest with someone else. There are things we can say to a close friend that we'd never say to a parent or a partner or even ourselves. I wonder what came into your mind just then. You don't have to say it, nor do you have to stay with it. Just notice it. Perhaps honesty isn't only about speaking, perhaps it's also about feeling safe enough to speak. Think about someone who says, I'm fine. Those two words can mean almost anything. Oh, I don't want to burden you. I don't know how to explain it. I'm still struggling to understand it myself. Or maybe I'm hoping someone notices that I'm not. The words stay the same, the meaning changes completely. Sometimes we assume people are hiding the truth. Perhaps they're still trying to find it. There's another thought I'd like to explore with you. Sometimes we wait until we've organized all our thoughts before we speak, as though we're only allowed to share something once we've made complete sense of it. But life doesn't always work like that. Some conversations begin with, I don't really know how to explain this, or this might not come out very clearly. Those can be some of the most genuine conversations we ever have, not because they're polished, but because they're real. Anne Lamott, the writer, she said, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. I've always liked that thought. Not because it tells us to avoid the difficult conversations, no, but because sometimes giving ourselves a little space helps us hear what we're actually feeling before we try to explain it to somebody else. There's something else I've been wondering. Maybe honesty begins long before we speak. Maybe it begins in those quiet moments when we stop arguing with what we're feeling. When we stop saying, I shouldn't feel like this, and instead just simply admit, I do. That can be surprisingly difficult, but also surprisingly freeing. There isn't any expectation that you suddenly become more open after listening to this one episode for a few minutes. Some conversations need time, some feelings need language, some people need safety. There's absolutely no rush. As you're listening now, perhaps one thought or one person has stayed with you throughout this episode. If that's happened, maybe there's a reason. Not necessarily because you need to act, just because something in today's conversation connected with someone, something already inside you. And sometimes that's enough. I'll leave you with that. Take care.